It's Monday, June 15th, 2026, and another tornado outbreak could be possible in the middle of this week. Now it's time for weather. Let's get right into it. First, let's talk about the severe weather outlook for the next few days, and this is what it's going to look like for today, Monday, June 15th. There are two separate areas of a marginal risk of severe weather, one in the northern Great Plains and one in the southwest and southern Great Plains. With these storms, there is a low tornado risk in parts of New Mexico right there. And taking a look at the wind threat, we can see two separate areas of a 5% chance of damaging winds, and most of the hail activity will be focused in the southwest and southern plains. Now let's take a look at the severe weather threat for tomorrow, Tuesday, June 16th, and there is a marginal risk of severe weather for parts of the Great Lakes region. And taking a look at the tornado threat, we can see there is a 2% tornado threat in this region with a 5% damaging wind threat and a 5% damaging hail threat. And now let's talk about the severe weather outlook for Wednesday, June 17th, and there's already an enhanced risk of severe weather for states like Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, and Indiana, with a slight risk of severe weather stretching from Kansas all the way to Ohio, and all threats of severe weather will be possible, including wind gusts up to 80 miles an hour, hail the size of 2 or maybe even 3 inches in diameter, and strong tornadoes, especially in this highlighted area. There could be tornadoes of EF2 or even EF3 in size. And this is what it's going to look like on Thursday, June 18th. There is a slight risk of severe weather already issued from Kentucky all the way up to parts of Connecticut and New York. Again, we could see more threats like damaging winds, large hail, and maybe a few tornadoes here or there. And before moving on to the radar, I want to talk about the excessive rainfall outlook for the next 5 days. And this is the map for today. You can see there is a moderate risk highlighted for states like Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi, with a slight risk just around that, and a marginal risk stretching from New Mexico all the way to the eastern coast of Florida. Taking a look at the map for Tuesday, June 16th, there are two separate moderate risks, one in parts of Louisiana and Texas, and one in the state of Mississippi, with a slight risk stretching from southeastern Texas all the way to the panhandle of Florida. And taking a look at Wednesday the 17th, there is a moderate risk for parts of Texas and Louisiana with a slight risk around that, but also a slight risk in parts of the Great Lakes region as severe weather will move through. Moving on to Thursday the 18th, we can see the moderate risk again grows and shifts east, covering parts of Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi, with a large slight risk issued from the Gulf all the way up to parts of Pennsylvania. And finally, for Friday the 19th, we can see there is a large marginal risk issued from Texas all the way to Georgia and Florida. Now let's take a look at the radar for the next few days, and this is what it's going to look like today. We have scattered showers and thunderstorms along the Gulf Coast, with some isolated thunderstorms that will pop up in Arizona and New Mexico later on in the day, as you can see in this time frame, with some scattered showers moving into the Midwest region later today. Moving on to Tuesday morning, we can see the rain is still persisting through the southeast, with rainfall totals in the southeast potentially reaching 3, 4, 5, maybe even an isolated 6 inches of rain in some areas, as you saw from the outlook before. And moving into the afternoon hours on Tuesday, we can see maybe a pop-up thunderstorm here or there, as there is a marginal risk of severe weather in this area. And the showers and thunderstorms do get more widespread along the southeast coast. And continuing on, this is Tuesday afternoon. Again, scattered thunderstorms in the Midwest and Great Lakes region. Moving on to Wednesday, where we could have a severe weather outbreak and a tornado outbreak in the Midwest. We can see storms do begin to show up around 11-12 a.m. And continuing through the day, we could see some discrete supercells forming in this area, raising the concern for tornadoes. And looking at the southeast coast, we could see low pressure moving. There is a 20% chance of this becoming a tropical system, but it's not looking very likely. And continuing throughout the day on Wednesday, again, we could see some discrete supercells in this area with damaging winds, large hail, and potentially a few tornadoes. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you live in any of the severe weather zones, be sure to stay alert, and I will see you all next time.